day, learners. I'm Lorelai, your math teacher for today. Are you ready for another math lesson? Oh, that's great! But before that, I want you to prepare your notebook and pen. Before I introduce to you our lesson, let us have first an activity. In this activity, I want you to solve this square puzzle by counting how many squares are there in this puzzle. I will give you 1 minute to answer. Your time starts now. Time's up. Now, let us check your answer by counting how many squares are there in this puzzle. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. There are 40 squares in total. Did you get the same answer? Good job! Based on our activity for today's topic, we are going to learn how to solve the area and perimeter of a square. Now, let me introduce to you our learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, the student should be able to first, define the area and perimeter of a square. Second, solve the area and perimeter of a square. And lastly, identify real-life situation in which area and perimeter of a square are usefully applied. We can see things that have a square shape everywhere we go. This Rubik's Cube, dice, and keyboard keys are just an example of a thing that has a square shape. But what is the proper definition of a square? A square is a shape with 4 equal sides and every angle in its corner is a right angle or 90-degree angle. A square is also a parallelogram, which means that the opposite sides are parallel and equal in length. As what I have said earlier, today we are going to learn how to solve the perimeter and area of a square. But before that, let us first define what is perimeter and area. Perimeter is a mathematical term that means the length around the shape. So, using the definition of the perimeter, if you have a square with a length of, let's say, A, and we all know that square has equal sides, therefore, we can conclude that the formula in solving the perimeter of a square is just 4 times the length, which in this example, length is denoted as variable a. If you are asking why we multiply the length by 4, it is because square has 4 sides. So, perimeter is equal to 4 times the length of the square. P is equals to 4a. Let's have another example to further understand the perimeter of a square. If you have a square with a side 12 centimeters, what is the perimeter of the square? So, as what I said earlier, perimeter is just equal to 4 times the length. Therefore, this square has a perimeter of 48 centimeters. Since 4 times 12 is equals to 48. Now, let's have another example. Grace and PJ are playing chess. Grace suddenly stopped playing because she wanted to solve the perimeter of the chessboard. She gets a ruler and measures the side of the chessboard. Grace said that the measure of the side is 2.5 inches, but the problem is Grace and PJ doesn't know how to solve for the perimeter of a square. Do you want to help Grace and PJ solve the perimeter of their chessboard? Great! Let's help them solve the perimeter of their chessboard. Let's recall first the formula in solving for the perimeter of a square. So, the formula in solving for the perimeter of a square is just 4 times the length of the square. Grace said earlier that she measured one side of her chessboard and it is 2.5 inches. Therefore, we just need to multiply it by 4 in order to get the perimeter of the chessboard. So, 2.5 times 4 is equal to 10. Therefore, the perimeter of the chessboard is 10 inches. Now that you already know how to solve for the perimeter of a square, let's now learn how to solve the area of the square. Area of the square is the number of square units inside the square. So, to solve for the area of a square, all we have to do is to multiply it 2 side dimensions together. But remember that all the sides of the square are equal. So, if you have a square with a length of a, all we have to do is multiply a by a. Or it can also be written as a squared. To further understand it, let's take a look at this example. If you have a square with a side 12 centimeters, what is the area of the square? So, as what I said earlier, we just need to multiply the dimensions of 2 sides to find the area of a square. So, for this example, the length of the side of the square is 12 centimeters. Therefore, 12 centimeters times 12 centimeters is equal to 144 centimeters squared. Now, going back to the chessboard of Grace and PJ, let us solve its area. Earlier, Grace measured one side of the chessboard and she said it has a length of 2.5 inches. Now, let's recall the formula in solving the area of the square. Area is equal to side times side. We have a side A, for example. Area is equals to A times A, or area is equals to A squared. So now, we just need to plug in the values to the formula. So, 2.5 times 2.5 is equals to 6.25. Therefore, the area of the chessboard is 6.25 inches squared. Good job! Now, you know how to solve for the perimeter and area of the square. Now, try to solve this one problem. I encourage you to pause this video first and try to solve it on your own. So, here is the problem. Teresa has a very wide garden full of flowers. She wanted to know how wide the garden is. So, Teresa hired a surveyor to measure the garden. The surveyor said that the dimension of Teresa's garden is 8 feet by 8 feet. What is the area and perimeter of Teresa's garden? Okay, now, let's check your answer. Let me show you my solution, and let's see if you have the same answer. To solve for the perimeter of the square, we just need to multiply the length by 4. It is because square has 4 sides. So, for this problem, the garden measures 8 feet. Therefore, 4 times 8 is equals to 32. So the perimeter of the garden is 32 feet. And to solve for the area of a square, we just need to multiply the dimension of the two sides. So, in this problem, the dimension is 8 feet. 8 times 8 is equal to 64. Therefore, the area of the garden is 64 square feet. Do we have the same answer? Great! Good job! So, that's it for today. I hope you learned a lot about this topic. Please don't forget all the formulas I gave you because those formulas are very useful. Also, you can watch other video tutorials posted by my co-teacher. Once again, this is Teacher Lorelai. Learning has never been this easy for anyone, anywhere. Have a nice day!